Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session of the AI Nurses Network. Today, we have a great speaker, Dr. Lucija Gosak, who's based at the University of Maribor in Slovenia, and she's going to talk about using AI in her nursing research. So take it away, Lucija.
Hello, thank you for introducing me. I would like to thank you for the kind invitation to present the research carried out by myself and my colleagues. Today, I will talk about the role of artificial intelligence in nursing research. I will show how artificial intelligence can improve literature reviews from formulating PICOT questions and search strategies and the way to the critical appraisal of systematic reviews. So, literature reviews are the foundation of every research project. A systematic review provides the basis of high quality research and allows for the systematic analysis of existing knowledge in a specific field. It facilitates the identification of existing findings, the discovery of research gaps, and the formulation of appropriate research questions. In nursing, they are also central to evidence-based practice, where clinical decision must be supported by the best available evidence. However, systematic reviews are often very time-consuming and require a systematic and precise approach. The exponential growth in the number of scientific publications make it increasingly difficult to review all relevant sources. As a result, extensive literature reviews can take months and even years, which slows down the research process and the implementation of new findings. Because of this, conducting high quality reviews demands not only time but also a high level of methodological expertise and experience. In evidence based practice, three elements come together: the best available evidence, the clinical expertise of healthcare professionals, and the values of performance of patients. The best available evidence means systematically applying the latest and high quality research findings to inform decisions. Clinical expertise refers to the professional knowledge, experience, and skills of healthcare providers. And finally, patient values emphasize the importance of considering individuals' preference. So this approach improves patients' outcomes, reduce cost, and increase the quality and safety of healthcare. A key tool in this process is the PICOT format questions, which helps structure clinical questions in a focused way. By doing so, it ensures that our search are precise and targeted and preventing us from being overwhelmed by irrelevant information. The PICOT format is a structured way of framing clinical questions. Each letter actually represents one important element that guides the search. Together, these elements help us transforming broad clinical problems into focused and answerable research questions. Here, artificial intelligence and especially large language models can provide strong support. They can help us structure and refine research questions using the PICOT framework. They can also automate part of the database search process and even build complex search strategies. Beyond searching, they are able to generate summaries of articles and highlight key findings. Finally, they can also support the clinical appraisal of articles, for example, by applying structured assignment tools or checklists. In this way, large language models can assist researchers through the entire literature review process, from the formulation of the question to the evaluation of evidence. The biggest advantages are saving time, making evidence search more transparent, and providing support for researchers. But it's important to remember, artificial intelligence is a supportive tool, not a replacement for our critical thinking. So artificial intelligence can support us through the different steps of a literature review process. It can begin with formulating research questions in the PICOT format, so clearly define the population, intervention, comparison, outcomes, and time frame. Next, it can help in identifying keywords and by building complex search strings. In the database search itself, artificial intelligence can optimize strategies for different databases, such as PubMed, CINAHL, Cochrane, and so on. Artificial intelligence can assist with screening articles based on relevance, quality, or inclusion criteria. It can also summarize key findings by generating structured overviews. And finally, it can help organize and categorize the evidence systematically. In this way, artificial intelligence can act as a companion across the entire review process, from the first research question to the final synthesis of findings. In our recent study, we explored exactly this potential of artificial intelligence. The aim was to evaluate how large language models, ChatGPT, Bing, and BART, compare with human experts when formulating PICOT questions and designing search strategies. We focused on the very first and most critical steps on the literature review process, from the formulating of clear and structured clinical questions to the creation of search strategies across different databases. Our result shows that large language models can provide valuable assistance at the beginning of the research process, but always as a complement to, not a replacement for, human expertise. We test 5 different clinical scenarios, for example, using yoga for migraine relief, the Mediterranean diet for hypertension, and so on. Each chatbot, ChatGPT, Bing, and BART, was asked to generate a PICOT question and to create a search string for several databases. The output were compared with those of human experts. To evaluate the performance of large language models in our study, we used 3 main criteria: comprehensiveness, accuracy, and relevance. Comprehensiveness refers to how broad and complex the generated search strategy were. Here we look at whether all key concepts were included and whether synonyms and related terms were covered properly. Accuracy focused on the correction of the PICOT question formulation, as well as the technical aspect of the search strategy. Relevance measured how many of the articles were actually useful. In other words, we looked at the proportion of relevant hits compared to the total number of search results across databases. Together, these 3 criteria allowed us to assess both the quality of the question formulation and the practical values of the search result. The findings were quite interesting. All models were able to identify the main elements of PICOT, but outcomes were sometimes too wordy. ChatGPT produced the most comprehensive search strategy using different synonyms and Boolean operators. Bing retrieved the most relevant results. BART produced the most hits, but many were irrelevant. This shows that artificial intelligence can be a valuable assistant, but still need careful human oversight. Beyond PICOT and search strategies, artificial intelligence can also support the next stage, critical appraisal. For example, large language models such as GPT 4.5 and Perplexity Sooner have been tested in performing structured critical appraisal of systematic reviews using the GBA checklist. For this demonstration, we use GPT 4.5 and Perplexity Sonar Pro. The input was the full text version of the published systematic review, and we used the GBA critical appraisal checklist for systematic reviews, which include 11 structured questions. The model received a standardized prompt asking it to answer each question with one of the 4 options: yes, no, unclear, or not applicable, and also to provide a brief justification for its answer. GBI checklist for systematic reviews, including clear, structured questions like: was the search strategy appropriate? Were the inclusion criteria clearly defined? Did the authors assess the quality of including study? Using the tool given us more confidence in deciding whether we can trust the findings and use them in practice. So out of these 11 criteria, both tools agreed on 9, which reflect a high level of consistency. Specifically, they relate 8 items as yes and 1 as no. This was related to the adequacy of the search strategy. However, they diverged on 2 criteria: whether the methods of synthesis were appropriate and whether publication bias was accessed. Large language models can also support structured clinical appraisal. They are practically helpful in ensuring consistency where applying checklists, and they can speed up the initial screening of articles. But there are also limitations. They still require critical human oversight, and they may struggle with more subtle judgment, for example, in assessing synthesis quality or detecting publication bias. On the other hand, there are clearly opportunities for artificial intelligence using in practice. Artificial intelligence can save a lot of time, especially in the initial phases of literature reviews, which allows researchers to focus more on analyzing and interpreting results. It also makes search strategy more accessible. On the other hand, there are also risks of artificial intelligence use. These include bias, the risk of retweeting irrelevant or low quality sources. That's why there is always a need for combination. Human oversight remains essential. Critical evaluation of artificial intelligence is necessary. So the key takeaway is safe use of artificial intelligence require constant critical monitoring and validation by experts. So thank you for your time, and your question is more than welcome.
Oh, that's great, Lucia. Thanks for a brilliant presentation. I think there's loads of great ways to use AI in nursing research, and using it for systematic reviews is definitely one of them. I've just got a couple of questions to finish up, if that's okay.
Yes,
Um,
of course.
yeah, I was really wondering, as a nurse, how did you become interested in AI and start doing research on it?
Hmm. Oh, that is a difficult question. I think it's not just one right answer on that. I was always interested in informatics and new technology in healthcare, especially in how they can help nurses in their daily work and improve the quality of nursing care. But I think the person who really inspired me the most was my mentor, Professor Gregor Stiglitz. He's also a great researcher in this field, and he showed me how important and useful this topic is. Artificial intelligence is already here, and we need just to learn how to use it in the right way.
Yeah, great. Yeah, definitely agree. Lovely. I was also wondering, do you have any advice for other nurses maybe who want to learn a bit more about AI and start doing AI research?
I think the most important thing is just start. Don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. See it as a supportive tools that is here to make your work easier, not to replace you. There are many free materials online, short videos, and resources that explain artificial intelligence in simple ways. So my advice is begin with small steps, learn a little every day, and most important, try to use artificial tool in practice. The more you use them, the more you understand how they can help you in your work.
Yeah, great. Thank you. That's really good advice to share. And then my last question before I let you go is, this is kind of a difficult one, but where do you think AI might go in the future? What kind of trends and kind of applications of AI should nurses be keeping an eye out for?
So right now, artificial intelligence is already very present in research. For example, today I showed one case of how it can be used.
Mm.
In clinical practice, I believe the first and most common use will be in administration, where it can save times and reduce paperwork. Uh, but I think artificial intelligence will be part of many areas in nursing, from searching of new evidence to summarize and simplifying text to preparing recommendation and so on. It will also support decision making and give us more time to focus on patients. But the trends are changing so fast, so it's really hard to say where exactly we will be in few years. So
Yeah, I agree. It's really difficult to keep up with it all. So thank you for your presentation, because it'll definitely give nurses ideas about how they can use AI tools for research, and that hopefully that evidence generation then will help improve things in practice as well. So thank you so much for your time, and lovely to catch up with you again.
thank you.